New season with the new group. What's the biggest thing that excites you about this year's team early on as you're still going through the process of sorting out who's going to be on the team to open up the year?
It's been really competitive. There's a lot of energy. Guys are excited to be in the rink every morning. They're working really hard in the gym, off the ice. There's a healthy level of push from each guy, and so that in itself is exciting because you see top to bottom there's a lot of competitiveness, and then you add in the fact that we returned a large chunk of that decor from last year, our starting goaltenders, some really important pieces up front. So there's a lot to really like about this version of the Stars.
Fans got a chance to see some of the newcomers in the preseason. Who are a couple faces who've stood out to you that fans are going to realize are going to be pretty regular members of this team this season?
Alex Pelletier was really good. He made the play on the game-winning goal in our first exhibition game in Omaha. Daniel Schlane's done a really nice job. Gio DeJulian, big goal in that first game as well. Those are some guys that have just kind of acclimated themselves right away, and then guys like Caden Harrington and Etienne Lessard that are going to be added to that defensive group that returns. So the pieces that we brought in via the draft or free agency or trade, whatever it might be, are experienced players that are either older or they played junior hockey last year, and so they're going to be able to make an impact very quickly as we get started.
Harrington was part of that draft day trade you guys made back in the spring. What excites you the most about him?
He's really mobile. He's a great skater. He's a big body. He defends well, but he's got offensive instincts. He can really shoot the puck. He's got an outgoing personality. He's jumped right in with 2 feet and is a big part of that culture building process that's so vital early on with the season, and he showed some leadership ability right away. So he's kind of the total package when it comes to being a 200-foot D, and obviously he's got things to work on just like every other guy in that room does as well, but he was certainly a great addition.
On paper, one of the biggest things this group needs to find the right roles for is the center position, with a lot of new faces in there. What do you guys feel about with what you've done through the draft and trades to address that?
Well, I think not only do we have good centers, but we also have some flexibility at the center position, whether it's Cade Kohanski, Gio DeJulian, John Hirschfeld. Those guys can all play the wing or the middle, and so they give you the ability to be flexible when it comes to how you want to create your lines. And now they've also changed the face-off rule, and they're kicking the center back out of the dot, which means you got to have 2 guys on a line that are capable of winning a face-off for you. So that allows us some flexibility from that perspective as well.
And it seems like there's flexibility with a few wingers who can also play the center position, if I'm correct.
Yeah, of course. You can drop BMO in there if you have to. You got somebody like Maltz who's got experience there. So there's guys that are more than capable of jumping in and playing the middle when we need it, and they've taken a lot of face-offs in their youth hockey careers. So the expectation is if we need them in a pinch, they can go in and they can be successful.
It's no secret this team's returning a lot of defensemen. What do you love about the guys who are coming back, and how much are you expecting to take a big jump in year 2 with the Stars?
For me, the biggest thing is they're returning players, but they're veteran returning players. They played a ton last year. It's not like we had a very old group last year with a bunch of young guys just getting their feet wet. These were the guys carrying us, and you saw somebody like Tanner Henricks, who had such an unbelievable series in Waterloo in the first round of the playoffs last year, really come into his own, and Webbs and Younger and Romer. I mean, those guys, they've been through it obviously, and they're comfortable, and so now they're young, but they're also experienced, and they're welcoming the reinforcements from that group, and you got a guy like Griff. Griff was limited in his experience with us last year, but he played 14 or 15 games and got his feet wet, and so now he's back here in his second year with a lot of confidence.
You've got a lot of guys on the line charts this year compared to a year ago who've already committed to colleges from where we were opening night last season. Guys with NHL logos already on the line chart. How nice is that for you, and how much easier in a way does it make your job with they've already locked in the college commitment, now it's about playing a strong season with the Stars?
Yeah, we've got a few guys left to take care of in regards to college commitments. Those will be done in probably the first month of the season, but I don't see this being a group where we're going to have guys uncommitted by the end of the year. In my previous 2 years, by Christmas, just about the entire line chart was done, and last year we didn't have that, and I'm sure that we'll be there this year. And now it allows us to just focus on hockey. Obviously, the draft eligible guys are going to have the interviews and the player questionnaires and stuff that come with the NHL stuff, but outside of that, we don't have to worry about chasing down college commitments. We can just focus on getting better every day.
It's clear Jan Shostak's the number one goaltender heading into the season. Nice to have that sorted out, but how's that process of looking up who his backup will be?
They're all three of them are very good goalies. They're all a little different. They're all a little unique in their own way, but they're very good goalies, and they're doing the best that they can at this point to make the challenge or the decision challenging, and that's what you want when you come to training camp. You want competitiveness. You want guys giving it their all, and whether it's Richie, whether it's Ben, or Prouser, all three of those guys are doing a really good job, and when we do have to make that decision, it's not going to be an easy one.
You had plenty of guys who you were probably excited about heading into the preseason. Who's a guy who really has made a name for himself in the 2 preseason games against USHL opponents?
Oleg Kolobaykin. He's a 16-year-old kid, Russian kid, just learning to speak English. Limited experience here in the States. Unbelievable talent. The skill set's off the charts, the compete level, the hockey IQ. He's a special player, and whether he's with us right away or he spends a little bit of seasoning with our AAA club, he's going to be a tremendous star sooner than later, and certainly a fan favorite in the community.
What do you love about the bonding opportunity at the cross-country drive to start the season in Pittsburgh? Forces the guys to really get to know each other quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what, I mean, I've been doing this. This is now my 20th year, and every year there's been a long trip to start. In the North American League, it's the Blaine Showcase in Minnesota, and in the USHL, it's the Fall Classic in Pittsburgh, and so it gives us the opportunity to get on the bus and get together and really just spend some time, and then we get to this year we're going to visit Miami of Ohio and practice there and have a tour of their facility, and so you're jumping right into it, and then a month later we're back on the bus going to Youngstown. So we've got a lot of early season opportunity to bond and grow, and I think that's going to be really important for our culture.
What do you like about the schedule this year? That's often a talking point we have. What do you like about how it shapes out for the Lincoln Stars this year?
You know what, I think that Tyler and Nick and myself, we did as much as we could to try to get that schedule where we want it, where it's good for our fans and it's in the best interest physically and mentally for our players. And there's challenges along the way. I know at one point we've got 3-3 in 3 different cities over the course of a weekend. I know that we've got a couple tough stretches, but everybody in the league does. We're not any different, and so we'll manage those. But I like the early season schedule, and I like the way the season ends. I think we have a nice little break at Christmas. It gives us some time to reset and refocus, and so trying to jam 62 games in is a challenge, and I think the league did a nice job of it this year.